All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel. Doing what I do in real time for a few real people, just like you right there, and just like me here. All right, some weird stuff about Pink Floyd. I'll talk about that. Before I do, this band here is really good. All right, so it's Alliance, three guys who've been around and they make great music together. The album is called Before Our Eyes. This came out early this year, and I was a little slow to get on board with it. But man, modern classic rock. That's what I would describe this as, with really the entire kitchen sink thrown in. You got Gary Field, Robert Barry, and David Lauer. And now, if you look up those guys, you're going to find that they all have vast rock and roll experience. So they put together a great album that, pretty much the world has ignored. So I'm giving it a plug again, Before Our Eyes. So I know people will be thankful today that I took a break from my political rants, but sorry, folks. Sorry, not sorry. By the way, if you want to help out this channel, good way to do it is through Buy Me a Coffee. I had a couple of people say that was one of the best rants you've ever done. And I'm like, hey, is it worth a coffee? Right here. Also, Patreon, YouTube memberships, and PJ Rock super chats. All right. The super chats, too, are coming in, and I appreciate those. Now, David Gilmour says he's open to an ABBA-like Avatar show. Oh, no. Holy crap, Batman. Good grief, Charlie Brown. So Louder Sound is reporting that at the premiere of his concert film, live at Circus Maximus Rome, at London's BFI IMAX, which must be a cool place to listen to music, right? Gilmour was asked how he'd feel about playing some modern venues like the Sphere in Las Vegas, where the Eagles are currently parked, and several others have been parking there off and on. And he had an interesting take on it. Some would say not so interesting, but it is interesting when you hear what he's got to say. He says, I'm hoping one of these days to go there and sit and watch myself doing it. Huh? Which is something I've always wanted to do. My avatar, so I don't actually have to get up and do it. Wow. So David Gilmour, this is pretty much the whole video here. So David Gilmour wants to go to the Sphere or wherever to watch his avatar. And hence the beginning. No, so if you're looking for any kind of a Pink Floyd tour or anything like that, you're not going to see it. You're not going to ever see it. To get Roger and David together again would be similar to what the Eagles did, but worse, way worse. I mean, hell froze over for them. I'm not sure what would have to happen. I just don't know. Those two guys are miles apart, and Gilmour has basically retired Pink Floyd, from what I understand. Anyway, in other Pink Floyd news, and there is some Pink Floyd news, fans think the band has been teasing an upcoming announcement with some cryptic posts on social media and digital services. Remember, Gilmour is pretty much in charge of the Pink Floyd brand these days. And if you're looking to see this concert with Gilmour live at Circus Maximus, it actually hits theaters and IMAX on September 17th. So there is some news. Today, there's something going on with these older albums, including Wish You Were Here and The Wall. The band has blacked out cover photos on their social media pages, and on all digital services, the covers of all their albums have been replaced with black squares with one line descriptions of the cover art. For example, on Wish You Were Here, it reads, two men in suits shaking hands. One man is on fire, which is the actual picture. But instead of the picture, it's a description of the picture. The wall reads, a wall of white bricks with red graffiti. Now, if they're doing stuff with a wall, don't they have to kind of talk to Roger about what they're doing? Unless, look, I understand these guys have sold out some stuff, and I don't know how much input they actually have. This could be someone else doing all of the promoting and rebranding and repackaging, and let's put this out again, and let's remaster it again. And oh, by the way, let's do some remixes where we auto-tune these vocals. They'll have a field day with Roger Waters. Have a field day. They'll make him sound like Bruno Mars, and you'll be like, what happened to Roger Waters? Sounds like Bruno Mars. And just, this is our future. This is the future of classic rock. So this is why, folks, physical product, especially the older stuff, physical product is the way to go. So you have something that you can rely on. Now they'll start recording this stuff again, and they'll put it on a new CD, and you'll have to check the date, find out when the CD was recorded. But the bottom line here is that David Gilmour is open to watching himself on stage as an avatar. Yay. Everyone is going like the Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons route. This is the future of our music. It's going to be avatars. Go see Brit Floyd. Just go see Brit Floyd. They're amazing. I know people are like, oh, it's cover tribute, but it's not even. They're amazing. I've seen them twice, and I would see them again. That's how much I enjoyed Brit Floyd. Without the drama, without worrying about if anyone's going to show up to the show, you know, meaning Roger or David, because that's never going to happen. So you just go and you love the music of Pink Floyd because it was amazing, is amazing, and is being represented by a great tribute band. One of the best, quite honestly. I would say Brit Floyd, and then right behind them, very close behind, Rumors of Fleetwood Mac. Just spectacular, spectacular shows. All right. I am done. Again, buy me a coffee, folks, if you enjoyed the rants from yesterday. Oh, and a little housekeeping here. So the second video I did, I talked about how the classic rock media forgot to talk about 9/11. Well, in my feed later on in the day, there was this story about the song Invincible by Pat Benatar and how it took on new meaning, and they talked about how Pat went up there and killed it and did a great job with it, and that was the story. All right, so there is one story. So I'm correcting myself because the correctors, they'll leave me messages and say, you're wrong. Here's a story. The rock media loves 9/11. Well, they certainly didn't talk about Charlie Kirk yesterday, did they? No. Well, it's not their job, Dave. It's rock. Yeah, but I don't know, folks. I will have to give you an example when, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Remember when she passed away and she just died of natural causes, I think? Holy crap. Rockers weigh in on the death of Ruth Bader, a Supreme Court justice? Really? Really? Okay, I didn't know that rockers were so into RBG, you know? So, yeah. All right. I'm starting to rant again. Time to drink the rest of this coffee. God bless everyone. Remember, Jesus loves you. Not because anything you did, because he did everything for us. All right? Done. See you soon.